Okay, so is it gonna announce that I'm streaming or? Ugh, lame. Well, it appears that's gonna take further research to solve. So, okay, I'm gonna try this medium salsa. Then, if it is correct, we will we'll jar it and then complete our tasks. I feel like I could use more cilantro. There we go. Okay. There we go. Hey, now it's starting to look better. All right. See, the medium salsa, you should like taste the heat initially, but still be able to like power through like half a pound of this stuff before you start to have your nose run. Delicious. Okay, now I get to jarring this. Woo, woo. The day shift keeps trying to clown me. Hello. The day shift keeps trying to clown me and be like, Riley, that's not even hot. And I'm like, open up one of those hot sauces and give her a go real quick. And they're like, what? What do you mean? Try it. And I'm like, yeah, go ahead. I mean, like, if it's not hot enough, like, I'll adjust the recipe. But like, yeah, go ahead, give her a go. And their face turns all pink. They start sweating. It's just the most horrendous display you've ever seen in your life. And they're like, okay, maybe I just thought like a week batch. And I'm like, okay, okay. It's giving these edibles ain't shit. And then you just get blasted into another dimension. Like, be for real. Okay. Alrighty. Now that we got the P and D, we know that the sauce is ready. Did I tell you guys that I got locked in on this TikTok yesterday where it's this woman and I guess her dad hoarded old Coleman lamps, like camp stoves and stuff like that. So if you guys like Coleman lanterns and or like camping equipment type stuff, you know what? I'll just link her stuff in the Discord because I imagine in the very near future she is going to essentially having a going out of business sale. And if her hoarding father can, you know, be a game for my followers and help this lady out, I'm just gonna give her the free promo on it. Because if you guys ever hear of a bunch of like goat products or like basket weaving supplies, I would hope that you would also forward that information on to me. Like if you see a bunch of like medieval peasantry stuff on sale, somebody's like, oh no, what am I going to do with all of these basket weaving tools and chicken accoutrements? And you don't say something to me, I'm going to be very, very upset with you guys. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do with my mother's hoarded collection uh, of antique chicken hats? And you don't even text me? You don't put not even a nod into the Discord? We got beef for life after that. Did I ever tell you guys that I had like almost like a permanent ban on being allowed to set fires when I was camping as a child? Because I was absolutely obsessed with Bear Grylls. And when I say obsessed with Bear Grylls, I mean obsessed like I made a whole Sims family of Bear Grylls. Before then, as a teenager, realizing that he had a whole wife and child, I was like, nah, his thing is he's going to be as close to Bear Grylls as possible in this Sims game. And I'm going to be the god of Bear Grylls' life. And that's what I'm going to do. And then I would learn like forestry and all kinds of like survival stuff, like setting those like setting up snares and stuff, which the long dark definitely brings back to the forefront of my mind. But I was so obsessed with that for years people would just get me like survival guides for Christmas. Like I think I had that like joke book or whatever that they were selling at Costco ages ago that was like, I'll find it if I can, but it's basically like worst case scenarios guidebook. And I was like, hell yeah. And it occurs to me now that that was like a dead giveaway to my psychologist father that I maybe had the tism. But, you know, forest through the trees, right? Because he was like, no, we can't let her start the fire for the picnic. She has pyromania. And I'm like, I don't have pyromania. I want to be the embodiment of Bear Grylls. And he's like, honey, she knows how to make prison matches. We can't let her start the barbecue fire. It's going to cause a problem. And I'm like, it wouldn't, because I would build it in this little ring. And now I get to start fires as part of my job doing like farm management. So sucks to suck. And it just goes to show if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. I wonder what other people had as their hyperfixation as children, or if we all had the same hyperfixation, and that's how you found yourself here today. Because I think one of the criticisms I got early on in like college was, I feel like you would teach my kids how to like skin an animal. And I'm like, first of all, why would I teach your children how to do that? They lack the dexterity in their hands to properly tan a hide. And they're like, see, it's shit like that that makes me think you would teach my child some sort of backwoods wisdom. I'm like, first of all, backwoods. I'm from scrub desert. Like, that's just a bigoted stereotype that you have of people with mountain knowledge. Like, we're not all trappers from like the 1800s. Calm down. Like, I don't think every Becky at a sorority knows how to do the splits and wave pom poms in my face. Some people just have different skills. But like, I feel like I would actually be pretty awesome at tanning hides. I haven't had the inclination to do so. Like I said, I've always wanted to raise rabbits for meat, but I just don't think I have the disposition to like cull rabbits specifically. When we did like wildlife rehab on them, they make all kinds of crazy weird noises, and that's like not in the culling process. They're just kind of a spooky, adorable animal. Well, at least wild rabbits are. I did have a rabbit as a child, and my uncle thought it was hilarious to get me like a giant rabbit. He was like, come on, like, Riley loves animals and it's Easter. Now, you guys haven't gotten her anything for Easter, but I, her fabulous uncle, have gotten her something for Easter. And I should have known then that he was a bit of a wild card. And I'm certain that my parents knew at that point. But he wheels in this like small dog sized rabbit. And it was like a little rabbit. And he's like, here's her rabbit. And they were like, oh, thanks, great. And then like a week later, that rabbit gained like, it was like 20% larger. And then like a week later, it was another 20% larger. And by the end of it, I'm like, you know, little kid Riley at this point. I have a rabbit that's taking up like half my body that I'm like both hands like struggling to pick up. Oh, it was crazy. I think I would like to have another gigantic rabbit in my lifetime. I think that would be cool. Because house rabbits are fun. I I used to farm sit for a couple that had like a yard rabbit, and they used the yard rabbit as fertilizer for their garden. So I'll probably do that again as well. But I would definitely make that rabbit like a tunnel system or something because everything likes to eat rabbits. And unless I have like some big scary dog, which I'll probably have a big scary dog at some point. But I just don't see being able to breed out like the prey drive in dogs. Like my dog was wonderful and he listened really well, but he could not stand the siren call of a rabbit anywhere near him. It was like when we fostered baby cottontail rabbits, it was like a terrible winter, and we had these cottontail rabbits, and at a certain age you have to separate them based on gender because they'll fight. And because of that, the cage that we had the one rabbit in, it kept escaping out of because it was just like, for whatever reason, like jacked. And it just kept breaking the clips off of the top of the cage. So it would escape. And my dog, bless him, he would corner this rabbit and then fight every natural instinct he had to not just maul this rabbit. But to his credit, he was a very good boy, and he always would alert us if the bunnies had escaped. And he's like, "Please take it. I don't trust myself with his rabbit." And God, such a good dog. You know, my grandfather told me, you know, when you have a good dog, every dog after that will just be awful. And I'm like, I don't think that's the case, Grandpa. I think you're mistaken because the dog I loaned to you was properly trained, and all of your other dogs are not trained. And so that might be where you're getting this misinterpretation of how dogs work. But turns out if you train your dogs, generally they're like pretty reliable. And it just you know, he's from that old world school of thinking where it's just like you just happen to have an animal that behaves, which is crazy to me. That's like not teaching your children a single thing in their entire life and being like, well, hopefully they turn out good. It's like, what do you mean, hopefully? Like, you don't want to be involved in that process at all? That's crazy. One sec. I've got a. Oh, yes, Raycon. Ran the. We ran the battery out. About time for me to get new Raycons, I think. They have a decent lifespan, but I feel like something about like the lithium batteries that they use for these, which I want to say is a finite resource, right? That we just keep milling out into consumer trash, right? So every single one of these pairs of